Is Apple finally launching a foldable iPhone? And more importantly, how will it compare to what's already out there? If the latest leaks are true, we're getting a pretty good idea of what the iPhone Fold might look like and what it could cost. Spoiler alert, it won't be cheap. According to well-known sources like Bloomberg's Mark Gurman and Leaker Digital Chat Station, Apple is aiming to release its first foldable iPhone sometime in late 2026 or early 2027. And the expected price? Around $2,000. That's right, $2,000 for a phone. But if anyone can charge that much and still have people lining up to buy it, it's Apple. Let's talk about what we know so far. The iPhone Fold is said to come with 2 screens, just like Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold or Google's Pixel Fold. But Apple might be doing things a little differently. The internal display, which opens up like a tablet, will reportedly measure 7.76 inches with a resolution of 1920 by 27,113 pixels. That's a pretty high-resolution screen, and it could make the device great for watching videos or multitasking. The outer screen, which is the one you'll use when the phone is folded, is said to be 5.49 inches with a 1422 by 2088 resolution. It's smaller than the Galaxy Z Fold's outer screen, but that's probably to help keep the device compact and easier to carry. Now let's talk about the screen shape, or the aspect ratio. The internal display is rumored to have an aspect ratio of 14.1 to 10, while the external one is 14.6 to 10. What that means is the screen will be shorter and wider compared to what we see on Samsung's foldables. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 has a tall and narrow internal screen with a 20.9 to 18 ratio. Google's Pixel 9 Pro Fold has a square-shaped internal screen, a perfect 1-to-1. Apple seems to be going for a more natural, wide tablet feel on the inside. That could make it easier to use apps side by side or type more comfortably. Now, here's something interesting. Apple is reportedly going with an under-display camera for the inner screen. So no visible camera hole when you're using it in tablet mode. For the outer screen, there'll be a small punch hole camera, just like many other smartphones today, and Apple might be saying goodbye to Face ID for this model. Instead, rumors suggest there will be a side-mounted Touch ID fingerprint sensor. It's a surprising move, but it could be a space-saving decision. Foldable designs are tricky, and keeping the device thin and light is always a challenge. Speaking of design, Apple is said to be working on a new hinge system to reduce or even eliminate the crease that's normally seen on foldable displays. This could give the iPhone Fold a cleaner, smoother look when opened, something that even Samsung hasn't completely solved yet. Is Samsung's slimmest flagship phone of the year actually decent when it comes to battery life? That's been the big question around the Galaxy S25 Edge ever since it was announced with a 3900 mAh battery, a number that raised eyebrows from the start. Compared to the other Galaxy S25 models, that battery size looked worryingly small. But now that the official battery test results are out, we finally know how the S25 Edge performs. First, let's be clear, it's not a battery beast, but it's not a disaster either. In our screen time estimate, the Galaxy S25 Edge came in at around 6 hours and 22 minutes. That's below the Galaxy S25, which lasted 7 hours and 6 minutes, and far behind the S25 Plus and S25 Ultra, which scored over 7 and even 8 hours, respectively. But here's where it gets interesting. In certain real-use scenarios, like web browsing and light tasks, the Galaxy S25 Edge held its own. Let's look at the numbers. Browsing: 16 hours and 40 minutes video streaming, 7 hours and 44 minutes gaming, 9 hours and 38 minutes. Now compare that to the base. Galaxy S25 Dart browsing, 18 hours and 29 minutes. Video, 8 hours and 1 minute. Gaming, 12 hours and 20 minutes. So yes, the S25 Edge is behind, sometimes by hours, but it's not falling off a cliff. It performs reasonably well, especially considering its super slim body and compact build. The S25 Plus and S25 Ultra, with their larger 4,900 mAh and 5,000 mAh batteries, obviously last longer. Those phones are also much bulkier and heavier. Samsung clearly made a trade-off with the S25 Edge, a thinner phone with a smaller battery. Now, let's talk averages. For web browsing, The average across modern flagships is around 16 hours and 23 minutes. The S25 Edge actually beats that at 16 hours and 40 minutes. So if you're just scrolling through news or social media, it's solid. For video watching, the average is about 10 hours and 8 minutes. The S25 Edge, only 7 hours and 44 minutes. Not great, but still manageable for casual streaming. In gaming, it hits 9 hours and 38 minutes, slightly below the 10-hour average, but again, not unusable. Interestingly, this puts the Galaxy S25 Edge above some popular mid-range phones. It beats the iPhone 16e, which scored 6 hours and 4 minutes. It edges out the Galaxy A35, which managed 6 hours and 12 minutes. And it performs almost exactly the same as the Galaxy S24 FE, which came in at 6 hours and 20 minutes. So, while it's not in the same league as the S25 Ultra or Plus, the S25 Edge isn't the weak performer many feared. Is Samsung planning to kill off the Galaxy S Plus series next year? That's what a new rumor suggests, and all eyes are now on the Galaxy S25 Edge to see if it can deliver. According to reports, Samsung is seriously considering replacing the Galaxy S26 Plus with the upcoming Galaxy S26 Edge in 2026. But here's the catch. This decision depends entirely on how well the S25 Edge performs in the market. If that phone does well, the Plus model might be gone for good. Let's break this down. Right now, Samsung's Galaxy S lineup includes the base model, the Plus, and the Ultra. Then later in the year, they drop an FE model, a slightly cheaper version with solid specs. This year, the Galaxy S25 FE is already in development. And now, with the S25 Edge added to the mix, Samsung could have up to 5 phones in the same lineup. That's a lot, so it makes sense they might want to trim things down. Here's the real reason this change might happen. Sales numbers. Based on what Samsung is reportedly telling its suppliers, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is expected to sell the most, about 17.4 million units. The base Galaxy S25 is close behind with 13.6 million, but the Galaxy S25 Plus just 6.7 million units. That's the lowest of the bunch. So from a business point of view, it seems logical. Why keep making a model that isn't pulling its weight when the Edge is newer, more exciting, and maybe better suited to the current market? According to the leak, Samsung has already kicked off development on the Galaxy S26 series under the project name NPA. The current plan is to start with 3 models: the base Galaxy S26, the Galaxy S26 Edge, and the Galaxy S26 Ultra. But here's the interesting part. Samsung is leaving some wiggle room. If the Galaxy S25 Edge doesn't do as well as they hope, Samsung might still bring back the S26 Plus next year. In that case, both the Edge and Plus models could exist separately. That's because Samsung doesn't want to give up on the ultra-slim phone category, especially now that Apple is rumored to join in with its own thin iPhone 17 Air. So, what makes the Edge model so special anyway? It's built for people who want high-end features without the bulk of the Ultra. You still get top-tier hardware, like a 200-megapixel main camera, the powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy chip, and all the Galaxy AI tools, but in a slimmer, more comfortable design. It fills a nice gap between the base and Ultra, and it could turn into a fan favorite if marketed well. If the S25 Edge does take off, Samsung might not just kill the Plus model, they could double down on thin flagship phones across their lineup. It would also push them to use more advanced battery tech like silicon carbon, which offers higher capacity in the same size,